We might see an 8th seed in the conference finals. Lonnie Walker legacy game saved the Lakers to put them up 3-1, and GP2 threw up in his mouth. The playoffs today were crazy. Let's get the Heat-Knicks game out of the way real quick. The Heat straight up wanted it more, and I know that's such a cliche saying, but they did, and I really don't know why. It's something Julius Randle alluded to in the post-game conference.
Maybe they wanted more. I don't know.
It's the playoffs. If there's ever been a time to want it more, obviously it's now. I don't even have to state that. And it's something the Knicks have built their identity on all season. Getting rebounds, being annoying, playing as a team and hustling. You don't go trade for Josh Hart at the deadline if you're not a scrappy team who needs another scrappy player. That's just kind of the Tom Thibodeau style of basketball, and that's the kind of brand of basketball the Knicks play, and they got outplayed in their own brand of basketball today by the Heat. And look, it's not like the Knicks got murdered on the glass or anything for the entire game. Statistically, it was 44-35 in the rebounds category, favoring the Heat, which is a decently large margin, but what really mattered were the offensive boards during the clutch possessions down the stretch. Multiple long rebounds with the Heat's way because of their relentless hustle on the offensive glass. It just looked like they were hustling and they were in the right spots, and that was the difference in this game. Couple this with serious foul trouble for key players on the Knicks. Hart and Randall both fouled out, and Brunson was at 5, and that was the recipe for the Heat today, along with a good game from Kyle Lowry, who looked like the Kyle Lowry the Heat had traded for, and Jimmy Butler continues to cook. It's very well possible that this Heat team that struggled all regular season and are now missing their best scorer in Tyler Hero and an excellent player off the bench who used to be an all-star in Victor Oladipo, who got injured in the first round. This 8th seed team who lost in the play-in is likely to be in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Okay, now on to the game of the night. Second half of the Warriors-Lakers was some of the most entertaining basketball I've watched this entire postseason. During the third quarter, I thought the Warriors were going to pull ahead, and while they did towards the end, it started with 7 straight points from GP2 in the middle of the third, all in transition and all assisted by Steph Curry. He had essentially 2 free layups and a wide-open corner 3, and for a player that the Lakers don't take very seriously on the offensive end and mostly just let shoot, and who just got his first start for the Warriors since game 2 of the second round last year. He looked great outside of him randomly disappearing because he threw up in his mouth in the second quarter. Him walking off the court led to this weird moment where Draymond swung the ball to the wing on their next offensive possession, and he just passed it directly to the Lakers bench. Steph almost had a triple-double in 3 quarters and eventually got the 1 rebound he needed to get his triple-double, his 3rd ever of all time. But he was whipping no-look passes left and right. He looked so under control outside of those last few possessions down the stretch. And I don't know when this Steph is not clutch narrative started, and I know he didn't perform very well in the last few seconds of this game, but the man has over 100 points in the fourth quarter this playoffs, which is 40 more than the second best player on that list. Now, I can talk about as many statistics as I want, but inevitably, Steph Curry did not hit the big shot the Warriors needed tonight, and that was because Anthony Davis played great defense on him down the stretch. It was very Kevin Love in the 2016 Finals-esque. Steph switched on to Anthony Davis twice. Once he forced up a shot, didn't fall. The other, he took a step back 3 from like 29 feet, missed that as well. But I can't say this loss lies solely on Curry's shoulders. I mean, obviously, it doesn't. Klay Thompson had 9 points tonight and essentially was a non-factor. But what was odd was the people that were carrying the Lakers down the stretch today were the Lakers role players. More specifically, Lonnie Walker. He had all of his points in the fourth quarter and was going bucket for bucket with Steph Curry for a good portion of the fourth, including hitting 2 clutch free throws to put the Lakers up by 3 with 15 seconds left. He ended with 15 points in the quarter, which was his entire stat line for the day. And I'm not sure if Anthony Davis and LeBron were tired, but they didn't really contribute much scoring-wise in the fourth quarter. And I get give the ball to the man who's hot. I understand that, but this is LeBron James and Anthony Davis we're talking about. These guys are known playmakers. I mean, they won the championship for a reason 3 years ago. But pretty much all of the fourth quarter, there wasn't a single time where the Lakers looked to Anthony Davis for a bucket. He pretty much was there to play defense, and he did that well, yes, but he did nothing on the offensive end in the fourth quarter, and it was something Jeff Van Gundy kept harping on, which he does all of the time. And LeBron kept hoisting threes, but I swear every time I had less and less confidence in him making it. Lonnie Walker was truly the hero of this game and clutched for them, and is basically the reason why the Lakers are up 3-1 right now. If he didn't step up, I feel like the Warriors win that game because LeBron was switching on to Steph, and the Warriors weren't even double teaming LeBron when he switched on to Steph, and Steph was holding his own. There was one possession where LeBron got a post hook shot on him and Steph had to foul him, and LeBron made both free throws. But other than that, there were a couple instances where Steph Curry had switched on to LeBron. LeBron tried to get into his dribble package. He either pulled a three, took a fadeaway, tried to get into the paint, and made a pass. But Steph was holding his own there, and the Warriors weren't doubling, which was very interesting. All I'm saying is, if the Lakers lose this game, this is a very different conversation ESPN is having tomorrow, and I'm having right now. The conversation would be revolving around the fact that Anthony Davis and LeBron did essentially nothing in the fourth quarter. Also, the Warriors had a very odd last possession. From what I could tell, they ran this play for Klay Thompson, but again, like I mentioned earlier, he had 9 points in 41 minutes, so he really wasn't doing much. He shot 27% from the floor and was really just a non-factor this entire game. But from what I could tell, they were trying to run a play to get Klay Thompson open in the corner. So Draymond drives the ball and he gets forced to the baseline and has to jump. And when he jumps, he throws the ball back and there's no one to kick to. And he essentially just throws it right to the Lakers and jump ball. Arguably could have been a foul on the Warriors, but jump ball. And then Steph tries to get a rebound, doesn't work out. The ball rolls out of bounds. And that's essentially the game. Now I understand for the Warriors, it makes sense in this situation to not run the play for Steph Curry. I know that sounds stupid, but Klay Thompson is a known playoff clutch performer and has hit many big shots in his career, so it's not like this is out of the ordinary to run a play for Klay, even if he's struggling. But the action to set up the play was very odd. Like, Steve Kerr drew up this play, and I assume Draymond was not supposed to drive to the baseline. I mean, okay, let me phrase that another way. Draymond was supposed to drive to the baseline, but he wasn't supposed to be jumping, falling out of bounds on 1 foot and throw the ball back. Like, that's objectively a horrible basketball play. Most turnovers, I feel like, in the NBA happen whenever a player runs out of real estate and has to throw the ball back in quickly, and it just doesn't work out because no one's open. And that's what happened here, and it looked really awkward, and I really didn't understand it. And that very well could be the Warriors season in that play right there, because I had the Warriors winning the series, right? I wasn't very high on the Lakers. Even though they won all those games at the end of the regular season, I coped. And I said, okay, the Lakers were winning against teams that were half-assing, weren't really trying. They were playing a bunch of tank teams that had an easy schedule, which wasn't true. The Lakers had one of the hardest schedules down the stretch. And obviously they added Vanderbilt, Michael Beasley at the deadline. And suddenly you don't have to act like Lonnie Walker is your fourth best player and he doesn't have to play 30 minutes a game. So then when Lonnie Walker gets a chance to touch the floor, he's this amazing surprise when you know Lonnie Walker is a good player. He played good minutes for you at the beginning of the season, and while he struggled later in the regular season, I feel like that was more because he was getting less minutes and overthinking things. So now that it's the playoffs, this is the kind of moment they needed him for, and this is exactly what the Lakers needed, and it's exactly what the Warriors were banking on not happening. I feel like the Warriors made all the right adjustments for this game, and it still didn't work. But yeah, Lakers go up 3-1, take a commanding lead. We've been here before, opposite roles, LeBron being down 3-1. So it is possible that the Warriors come back and make this a game 7, but I'd at least expect them to go back and win in Oracle Arena and make this a game 6. But who knows, maybe the Lakers will surprise me. You never know. These playoffs have been entirely unpredictable. But yeah, that's all I got. Have a good one.
He's a hell of a tight end. He never got a tight end like me.
Stop it.
I did play football one day, America.
Yeah.
And I realized they were actually hitting out there. But